Good morning, dear students. Myself Harish Kumar, and today we are going to learn the second chapter of class 10, that is polynomial. Dear student, polynomial, the word consists of two words, poly and nomial. Poly means many, nomial means terms. So basically, polynomial is an algebraic expression which consists of some term. What are they? Let us see. So polynomial basic definition, I just want to give you all that a polynomial is an algebraic expression which consists of finite number of terms, and that terms are these variable, coefficient and constant. Dear student, I have given you a small definition of polynomial. Polynomial is an algebraic expression which consists of finite number of terms such as variable, coefficient and constant. Let us see what are variable, coefficient and constant. Generally, variables are unknown values whose values is not fixed. Suppose in order to identify the variable and coefficient and constant, I am giving you an example, like we are writing 2x plus 1. Here x is a variable. The number, always remember बच्चों, the number attached with the variable is known as coefficient. And the number which is not attached with any kind of variable is known as constant. So 1 is not attached with any variable, so it is known as constant. One more example I just want to add here, like suppose we are writing 2y plus 3z plus 5. Here z and y are known as variable. Here for the variable y, 2 is a coefficient, it will call coefficient for the variable 2, and 3 is called the coefficient for the variable z. Here 5 is again the constant. So okay, suppose I am writing an algebraic expression which is like a 2x square 6x plus 5. Here it has a variable x, variable is x. Okay, now if someone asks you the question like what is the coefficient of x, so you should say 6 is the coefficient of x. Sometime the examiner asks you question like what is the coefficient of x square. Here the coefficient of x square is 2. Okay, so x, which is in a 2 term, written with 2x square plus 6x plus 5. Here the coefficient of x is 6, the coefficient of x square is 2, whereas 5 is written without variable, so it is known as constant. So 5 is here constant. Okay, so basically polynomial is an algebraic expression which consists of finite number of terms, variable, coefficient and constant. Here all note बच्चों that variable has always the power raised to whole number only. Suppose I am writing 2 root x plus 1. Can we say that this example 1, 2 root x plus 1 is a algebraic expression? No. Here it will not call as a polynomial because this can be written as 2x to the power 1 by 2 plus 1. The condition says that the variable has always the power raised to whole number, and that means that for any algebraic expression, If the variable is not having the power raised to whole number, then it is not an algebraic expression. Here 2 root x plus 1 is not an algebraic expression, because we can write this as this, that 2 into x to the power 1 by 2 plus 1. Here 1 by 2 is a notch, whole number. So it is not an polynomial. It is not a polynomial. Okay. What about this? Suppose I write 2x 3 by 5 plus 1. Is it polynomial or not? It is again not a polynomial, because the power raised to x is 3 by 5. Okay, which is not a whole number, so it is also not a polynomial. What about this, bachcho? Suppose I have written 2x square plus 2x cube plus 1. Is the example number 3, 2x square divided by 2x cube plus 1 is an algebraic expression? Again here it is no, because when we simplify it further, we get that it's 2x2 by using this property, bachcho, a to the power m, a to the power n. This is a to the power m minus n. So this 2 to the power cube, 2x cube will be written as 2 minus 3 plus 1, which is 2x to the power minus 1 plus 1. So here, as you can see, that the power raised to x is minus 1, which is not a whole number. So again it is not a algebraic expression. Okay. Now we will learn about the classification of polynomial. So basically, dear children, generally we classify any polynomial either based on the term it consists of or the number of degree it have. So let us see classification of polynomial. Based on term it consists of, and second one is based on degree. So let us see one by one. So classification of polynomial we categorize mainly into two categories, that is classification of polynomial based on term and the classification of polynomial based on degree. So in this sub classification we have monomial, binomial and trinomial. Basically, dear students, all the polynomial which has only one term is known as monomial. All the polynomial which has two terms is known as binomial, and all the polynomial which has three terms is known as trinomial. Let me give example one by one. Suppose I am writing 2x. 2x is a monomial. 2y, 3y are simply z. These are known as monomial. What is binomial? Suppose I have written an algebraic expression which is 2x plus 1 or 2y minus 5 or 3y minus 2 or z minus 3. Here this polynomial consists of two terms, 2x and 1. This polynomial consists of again two terms. Again this is a two term and this is a two term. So bi means two. So binomial means an polynomial which consists of two terms, that is known as binomial. What about this trinomial? What about this 2x plus y? Here it is grouped one, na? So here when we expand this, it will be written as 2x plus 2y. Okay. So ultimately again this is a example of binomial. Talking about बच्चों trinomial, any polynomial which has 3 terms is known as trinomial. Suppose I am writing x square 2x plus 6. Okay, this is what the case of trinomial. This is one term, this is another term, this is third term. So this is consist of third term. Suppose I am writing 3x square plus 8 root 2 x plus root 6. Again this is the polynomial which consists of 3 terms, 1 2 3. So this is example of trinomial. Acha, can you tell me 2x cube plus 2x square? Can you tell me under which classification this will fall? 2x cube plus 2x square. Just think. Yes, this will fall under this binomial only, because this is the one term, this is the second term. Okay, although we can write this complete as a 0 plus x plus 0, so this doesn't have any significance. So this 2x cube plus 2x square is a binomial because it has only 2 terms visible to us. So any polynomial, just check for the number of term it consists of. If the polynomial consists of only one term, then it will be known as monomial. If the term consists of 2 terms, that it is known as binomial. Like we have written 2x plus 1 here. 2x is a coefficient and x is a variable. Here constant is also attached with it. So 2x is a one term, 1 which is constant is another term. So 2x plus 1 is binomial. Similarly 2y minus 5, this is one term, this is another term. Like any polynomial which has 2 terms is known as binomial. Talking about trinomial, so any polynomial which has 3 terms is known as trinomial. X square plus 2x plus 6. Here this is one term, second term, third term. This operation may change, like it may be plus, negative. Okay, so don't get confused. So if it doesn't matter whether it is positive or negative, it will consider as a 2 term only. Okay, so similarly root 3 x square plus 2 root x plus root 6. This is the example of trinomial. Now dear students, we will see the classification of polynomial based on the degree it have. Okay, dear students, before I tell you the classification of polynomial based on the degree, let me tell you first what is degree. So basically the degree of polynomial is degree of polynomial. A degree is the highest power raised to a variable. For any polynomial, the highest power raised to variable is known as its degree. For example बच्चों, p of x, I have written x square plus x plus 2. Here you can see that the variable is x and the highest power raised to the variable x is 2. So the degree of this polynomial is 2. Okay. Similarly, if I write any polynomial p of x is equals to 2x cube plus 5x square plus 2x minus 3. Here the variable is x and the highest power raised to the variable p of x is 3. So the degree of this polynomial is 3. Similarly, p of x is 2x plus 1. Here as you can see that the power of this variable x is 1. So the degree of this polynomial is 1. Now talking about the non-zero polynomial. Okay. So suppose non-zero means a constant only. Okay, so p of x is, let us suppose 21. We can write 21 as 21 dot x to the power 0, because up to class 9th we have learned that if we raise power to anything to 0, that means which is 1. So x to the power 0 or anything to the power 0 is always 1. So 21 into x to the power 0 is nothing but 1 only. So 21 is a non-zero polynomial. And dear students, always remember that the zeros of non-zero polynomial is always zeros. The zeros of the non-zero polynomial is always zeros. Now third one is suppose I write p of x is equals to 0. This is called बच्चों zero polynomial. Here noteworthy point is that the degree of zero polynomial is not defined. What I want to say here that here p of x is equals to 0 is a zero polynomial. Okay, so p of x is equals to 0. I can write it like anything. So 0 here, this can be written as p of x is equals to 0 dot x to the power 0. Okay, or you can write 0 dot x to the power 1 or 0 dot x to the power any natural number. Okay, any natural number. So here you can observe that for a zero polynomial p of x is equals to 0, for any zero polynomial the degree of zero polynomial is always not defined. Okay, it is not defined, means p of x which is equals to 0, we can write 0 x to the power 5 also. So here degree is, here for this the degree is 0, for this the degree is 1, for this the degree is any natural number, for this the degree is 5. So since we are multiplying 0 with that number, so ultimately the things will be 0. So the degree of zero polynomial is always not defined. Okay, so these are the two important things that you should keep in your mind. Okay, now we will learn the classification of polynomial based on the degree. So one by one, let's see. Now we will learn the classification of polynomial based on the degree. Degree I have taught you. Okay, so dear students, any polynomial which has the degree, highest degree is 1 is known as linear polynomial. Any polynomial which has the highest degree 2 is known as quadratic polynomial, and any polynomial which has highest degree 3 is known as cubic polynomial. Okay, one by one let me tell you the general formula for any linear, quadratic or the cubic polynomial. So the general formula for linear polynomial is ax plus b, where a, b are real number and a is not equals to 0. Similarly, the general formula for quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c, where a, b, c are real number and a is not equals to 0. Okay, for a cubic polynomial the general formula is ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where a, b, c, d are real number and a does not equals to 0. Let me give some example. For example, p of x is 2x plus 3, p of x is 2y minus 3, p of x is 0 dot x square plus 2z plus 1. Here this has no significance because 0 is multiplied with x square, so ultimately it's 2z plus 1. So p of x 2z plus 1 is an example of 2z plus 1 is example of linear polynomial, because the highest degree rise to 2x plus 3 is 1, the highest degree rise to the variable y in this equation is 1, so it is linear. For this the highest degree for the variable z is 1, so it is a linear polynomial. And generally on graph this linear polynomial are always straight. Always remember बच्चों that when we plot any linear polynomial into a graph, the plottation of that linear polynomial will always be a straight line. Okay, talking about quadratic polynomial, as I have said, the general formula is this. For example, p of x, x square, x plus 1, p of x, 2x square, 4x plus 6, p of z, z square minus z plus 1. Here, as you can see, this for the polynomial first, that is x square plus x plus 1, the highest degree rise to the variable x is 2. So it is a quadratic. Also, when we see that p of x is 2x square minus 4x plus 6, here also this is what? The case of quadratic polynomial. Suppose I am writing p of x is equals to root 3x square 2 root 4 x plus root 6. Here you can see that when you compare this with standard formula, that is general formula, we get that the value of a is root 3, value of b is minus 2 root 4, which is minus 2 into 2, that is minus 4, and value of c is root 6. Here you can see that the value of this real number is consist of rational and irrational number. Okay, so what I want to say here is that for the general formula of quadratic polynomial, ax square plus bx plus c, a, b, c are the real number. Real number means it may be rational or irrational number. From example number 4, you can see the value of a is root 3, and from example number 1, you can see the value of a is 1. 1 is a rational number, root 3 is a irrational number. So a, b, c, which are the coefficient, generally they are real number. Okay, cubic polynomial is not there in present NCERT syllabus. It has been deduced after the post-COVID. So cubic polynomial, just see, it has general formula ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where a, b, c, d are the real number, a is not equals to 0. Let us see example like a x cube, x square, x plus 1. This is the example of cubic polynomial. Okay. Dear students, always remember that when we represent any quadratic polynomial into the graph, then on graph the presentation of quadratic polynomial is always parabola. Parabola means, like you might have saw the horseshoe, this U shape, or upside U or downside U. If the coefficient of x square, that is a, if a is greater than 0, then you will get the open upside parabola. If the value of a is negative, that is less than 0, then you will find that the presentation, that graphical presentation of that quadratic polynomial will be towards the downside. That will be U-shaped towards the downside. Okay, let me tell you once again for the better impact. If the value of a is greater than 0, that is positive, then the presentation will be on the graph will be upside U shape, that is parabola. If the value of a is negative, then it will always will be towards the downside, that is downside parabola. Okay, if a is negative, if a is positive, then it is upside. If a is negative, then it is downside. Okay, dear students, now we will see the zeros of the polynomial. Dear students, generally the zeros of the polynomial are the value of variable for which the given polynomial is 0, is known as the zeros of the polynomial. Let me write the definition like zeros of the polynomial is the value of variable for which the given polynomial is 0. Zeros of the polynomial is the value of variable for which the given polynomial is 0. For example, p of x is 2x plus 3. This is linear polynomial. Why? Because the variable, the power rise to the variable x is 1, so it is a linear polynomial. Okay, so let us see. Let p of x be 0, then we will get 2x plus 3 is equals to 0. When we transpose this to there, we get 2x is equals to minus 3, that is x is equals to minus 3 by 2, that is minus 3 by 2 is what? 1.5, so it is 1.5. So here p of x, which is minus 3 by 2, is the zeros of polynomial. Since when we put x is equals to minus 3 by 2, so here we get p of x, which is equals to minus 3 by 2. This polynomial will be 2 into minus 3 by 2 plus 3. 2 and 2 will get cancelled out from here. This will be remain minus 3 plus 3, which is 0. That means for value of x, which is equals to minus 3 by 2, the polynomial is 0. Thus minus 3 by 2 is the zeros of this polynomial. Okay, I hope you understood. Let me give one more example to you. Like suppose we are given x square minus 3x minus 4. Okay, this is the example number 2. P of x is x square minus 3x minus 4. Now we are aim to find the zeros of this polynomial by using splitting the midterm method. So by splitting the midterm method, it says that think about two number p and q such that their sum is minus 3 and their product is what? Minus 4 into 1, which is minus 4. Okay, so think about two number whose sum is minus 3 and their product is minus 4. So if let p be minus 4 and q be 1, so minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3 and minus 4 into 1 is minus 4. So p of x can be written as x square minus 3x minus 4. This midterm minus 3x can be written as x square minus 4x plus x minus 4. X square, just take common, x minus 4. From here we have taken x as a common, and from here 1 will be the common, so x minus 4. So basically x plus 1 and x minus 4. This is known as bachcho factor. And when we put this factor is equals to 0, that is x plus 1 is equals to 0, x minus 4. So x to the power minus 1, here you can see that this given polynomial is satisfied for x to the power minus 1 and x to the power 4. As you can see that for the value of x is equals to minus 1, when you put the value of x over here, x square minus 3x minus 4, minus 1 square minus 3 minus 1 minus 4. Okay, minus 1 has a square 1, this minus 3 minus 1, that will be just 3, and minus 4 minus 4. Okay, 4 minus 4 is 0. Similarly, p of 4 is 4 square minus 3 into 4 minus 4 that is 4 square is 16, 3 into 4 is 12 and minus 4. So 16 minus 12 minus 4 is 16. So 16 minus 16 is 0. So this, since it has degree 2, so it has utmost possibility that it will have 2 zeros. Okay.